Ready?
Yep.
Hi fellas, welcome back. Came down Paul's to see Stephen's poor Sierra Cosworth the core fire. Yeah. Looks like you've done some work, Paul, since I was last down.
Yeah, well we've stripped it now, obviously engine and box you can see there. We've taken everything out under the bonnet apart from the last remnants of the wiring loom what we just cut off. Because obviously the next stage now is we're going to take every single bit of interior out of it, because we're going to have to change the whole car loom obviously, because it's so badly damaged, so the whole interior will have to come out, take the loom out, and then hopefully next week I've got get it blasted. We're going to take it round back.
Does someone come to your place and just blast the car fire?
I normally take them to his place, but it's easy because it's only under the bonnet to do. Saves me trips in it all the way over to Malton to Rydale Blast and Steam Clean. Guy Burnett, he's going to do the blasting for me, and because it isn't a big job, you know, I mean, I think you can clearly see now better than you could on the first video. You can see it's only really just above here. All the chassis rails, there's a little bit of you know, blistering, but it's only the heat from the fire obviously, but you can see it isn't bad at all. It doesn't look anywhere near as bad as it did when it was, you know, the melted plastic, and that made it look a lot worse. Because there's been a lot of people, you know, mentioning and commenting it on internet, is the metal knackered, you know.
I was going to ask you, there's a lot of people, I noticed a lot of people were asking that.
You know, it's solid. It is basically, the heat has blistered the paint off it.
Just burnt the paint off.
It's not like the flames have been engulfed in the metal for hours and hours, which then does weaken metal, but I'm very confident the metal's...
Probably doesn't even get red hot, will it?
No. You can see there, I mean, all the paint's still on up there. It's, you know, if you rub that, it comes off to white paint. You know, you can see it's not bad. This side's a little bit worse, but you can see there's still paint there. There's all paint here, look, it's just...
Well, that's the area we think the fire originated, don't you, next to the fuel pressure regulator? We
think, you know, I'm not a fire brigade investigator. Everybody's asking, what do you think caused the fire? If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire, wouldn't I? But we can only guess. Look, you'll see better on the engine, you know, you can see definitely the heat is high up, and it's here.
So this is a bit what we think.
We think the fuel regulator's gone, possibly, because you can see there, the engine mounting's perfect. Even the oil filter's still got the service date on it from when we last serviced it. You know, the throttle body and that's perfect. It's just obviously covered in soot and dust. But nothing below there, look, is damaged. Look at that, you can still see all the zinc plating on there is still intact and good.
Even the belts there?
Yeah, so it was just sort of there. So, you know, an educated guess would say it was
from there up?
Yeah, the fuel pressure regulator, and that's hence why we're quite confident that the metalwork's fine, because the heat was high up. But as I say, we're going to get that all blasted. I'll have to rub the wings down by hand, because obviously you shouldn't blast an exterior panel because it warps them. Right. So I'll rub them down by hand, and then once they're bare metalled, I'll get a better feeling of this wing might possibly have to be changed, because this did get quite hot. So I'll check that, and if it's badly warped, we'll put a wing on it.
So you'll change that wing, but maybe leave the far one?
Like I say, once we've bare metalled them, you'll be able to feel them then and see if they're distorted in any way. But we do have to blast all the inside of the inner wings and the inside of the back of these as well, which might cause a bit of distortion on them. So it might have to have a pair of wings on it, but if we do, we'll put a pair of genuine Ford wings on it. It might have to have a bonnet landing panel, because that might be distorted, so we'll, you know, measure all that up, put all that. We'll blast it first, then etch prime it to stop it rusting, bring it back, and then my plan is to put a bonnet on, put all the headlights and everything in, and a grill in, and if everything lines up perfect, we know that bonnet landing panel isn't bent, you know, buckled and distorted. And if it isn't, we'll leave it. If it is, we'll put a new one on it. But the only good thing it does show is how solid this car is.
I know.
There's no...
Looks mint, because they normally go around here, around there, but... Looks perfect.
It's absolutely solid.
So what's the plans with the engine?
That's next thing, because obviously that's stripped. He's obviously stripped this all down, get the engine and gearbox split, turbo off. We'll send the turbo off to Turbo Performance, who do all my turbos for race cars and that for me. Right. So we'll get them to rebuild the turbo, because you can actually see if you get close, it's hardly burnt really.
No, it's not.
It looks all right, but we'll get that sent, get new seals and bearings put in it. The engine will get stripped, because obviously it'll need seals and gaskets at best. We'll check the head, make sure it hasn't got too hot and distorted it. All the aluminium parts and what have you. I've been contacted by JC Aqua Blasting. He's offered to do all the aqua blasting on this for us if we send it down to him. So we'll get him to do all that for us. We'll get everything else blasted and powder coated by Guy, who's going to do the blasting on the car for us. We'll have new shockers because they've got a bit warm, as you can see.
It's not worth
and they're quite scruffy, so I'll talk to Stephen, the owner, and say we might as well just put a brand new coating kit on it. Gearbox will be fine, but obviously we'll take that off and have a look. Put a clutch in it, and then we'll powder coat everything just to make it nice, really.
It doesn't even look like it's even got hot down here, does it?
That side,
there's something and everything.
Well, look, alternator's hardly touched, really. It's not got hot at all, this side, which again points us back to the fuel reg, because the heat is there, really. Yeah, that'll all get stripped, blasted, powder coated.
Do you think the rotor cover will be alright?
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah. It's like anything, when you rub it, all the black soot comes off. It don't look bad at all, really. I think we might have to put a new set of plugs in it, leads in it, like. You know, I don't think they'll go again. But to be honest, it looked horrific, didn't it? So it looked absolutely terrible. But when you see it now, it doesn't look pretty. But you can see it
looks a lot better. It does look a lot better.
I mean, I'll be honest, if I actually steam cleaned it and got all the black soot off, it probably wouldn't look bad at all, really.
I think on the next video when it's blasted and you've maybe got some primer on, it'll just look like
it'll look like one we've just stripped down to restore. The sad thing is, when we did this car originally, which, remember on the first video, we couldn't remember how long ago it was.
See, it's on the
oil filter, isn't it? So it was, 2015. So it's been done over 5 years when we first restored the car, and we repainted under the bonnet when we did the restoration in 2015. And to be quite honest, I bet if I had the pictures, which I haven't sadly, I did look at the pictures of it pretty much exactly as you see it now, and all rubbed down, other than the black dust, it won't look a lot different, will it, really? But it's, you know, it's nowhere near as bad as it looked, I don't think, when you look at it now. Even the engine doesn't look that bad.
I think the next stage, you'll not even tell it's really been on.
Once it's been blasted, and like you say, it's got etch primer on it, I think it'll look, because all wings will have been bare metal, and obviously if we have to replace them, I'm going to make that decision. I want to de-air the wings first before we blast it, so I can get a feeling for the wings, and if I think that, you know, we're better off replacing them, then I'll take them off before it's blasted, so we can blast all the backside of the inner wings better and get in, and then I'll put all the original spray sealer on the inner wings on the inside, you know, and do it all back to factory exactly as it should be.
Have you got wings in stock?
I've got a couple of genuine Ford wings, yeah, so if we need them, I've got them here so we can quickly.
Because we did mention on the first video, if you haven't seen the first video, I'll leave it in the links below, but the lad that owns the car, Stephen, unfortunately can't go through the insurance, can it? So he's kind of pulling this out of his own pocket.
Yeah, unfortunately, when he got the car back off us when we restored it, he was quite nice actually, because I delivered it back for him in trailer backwards over Bradford way, and he got quite emotional when he saw it, which is nice, you know, because he's a retired gentleman, and we pulled it out and lifted bonnet and he looked at it and he got quite emotional. He said it looks better than it did when he bought it brand new from a Ford dealer. And,
well imagine.
And he used it, you know, he always said, I'm going to use it, I don't ever want to not use it, but I don't think he used it as much as he did, because
he'd tell from the oil filter.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, he did use it, but he left it stood, I think, for about a year, maybe even a bit longer. So it had run out of MOT, so he just took it round block just to make sure everything was all right before he took it for MOT, and it fired. Because he thought, he actually said to me, did Stephen, that he kept cleaning it while he'd had it, you know, because he's retired now, a bit of an hobby, coming in, wipe it over. He thought he'd maybe left a rag or something stuffed down somewhere.
Oh, right, and that caught fire.
And I think he felt quite upset about it, and I said to him, to be honest, I don't think you have. By our own eyes investigation, as we keep saying, I would put money on it was a fuel pressure rig. And I think he felt a little bit better that he hadn't caused it, but because it was obviously had no MOT, the car was insured on a stand, you know, a laid up policy, but because he'd driven it without an MOT on it, the insurance wouldn't pay out. And because he's an honest guy, he just accepted it. I mean, anybody else would have quickly booked it in for an MOT, because as we all know, as long as you're driving to the MOT station,
you're insured.
You're covered, because you obviously have to be able to take it to an MOT. If he'd have just booked it in with an MOT and said it had happened on way, the insurance would have paid out, but he rang them and told them exactly what had happened, and they said, well, unfortunately, because the car's got no MOT, it's not roadworthy, it's not insured. And
poor fella.
Yeah, but he just said to me, look, Paul, I've had it from brand new, I love the car, and I think, to be honest, if we hadn't have probably restored it when we did, he might have said, you know, it's happened, let it go, sort of thing. But I think because it looks so nice when he got it back, he sort of rekindled his love for the car. I think that's what's made him determined to put it back on the road again, really, you know, and keep the car.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing it come on mine, I must admit. I'm really looking forward to the next stage where it's blasted and it'll, obviously, all this kind of gunky plastic will be gone, and
I think it'll be
how it comes up.
The best transformation, won't it, really? Because when it looks so bad, you know, the before and after pictures, like on the first video you did on your thumbnail, you put a picture of it just after we'd restored it, before we took it back, and you saw like before and after, and it's easy looking at before and then damaged, but seeing the reverse, that's when you notice it, isn't it? And I think people will be quite amazed how nice it'll come up, really, and I'm looking forward to it.
I am.
Because it will be such a transformation, and obviously it's been really nice. A lot of people that have seen your video, Adam, and seen it on Facebook have messaged me, I've got this part if you want it to build, and you know, because I did say there'll be a lot of parts I haven't got that I need, and a lot of people have messaged me, I've got one of this if you need it, which is nice.
It's nice of people, that.
Well, I think we all feel the same, don't we? If this was our car, you'd be devastated.
Would. A few sleepless nights.
Yeah, but it'll be, I'm confident it'll look perfect.
No doubt, no doubt.
It'll look perfect when it's done.
Can I just jump in real quick, fellas, to give a huge thanks to Hampson Auctions. Hampson Auctions are a UK-based auction company, and if you've got like a cool car, an old car, an interesting car, and you want to sell it, drop one of the links below to Hampson Auctions, drop them a message, tell them I sent you, and if you sell your car with Hampson Auctions, you literally, like, whatever the hammer price is, Hampson Auctions takes 0% off you, you get the full hammer price. Let's get back to the video with Paul. So you were saying there's some bits you're kind of looking for at the minute, Paul? Yeah,
I'd appreciate if anybody out there can help us, because obviously 3-door bits are quite difficult to find now. We were saying to you earlier, you can find 500 bumpers easier than you can find 3-door.
You never see it for sale?
No, you very rarely see genuine 3-door ones for sale, because they remanufactured the 500 ones, so the market was sort of flooded with them, and everybody, like your car, Adam, everybody wanted the 500 front bumper on, and they took them off, and a lot of people binned. I was just saying to you earlier, when I was braking at the heyday, I must have had 10 or 12 front bumpers all on a rack, and I was selling them for 100, 150 quid. You know, you were pleased to get rid of a 3-door front bumper. But yeah, if anybody's got one, if they've got a real good condition one, and same with that
front arch.
Yeah, passenger side front arch, I'd appreciate if anybody's got one they'd like to sell that's a real good one, because it'd help us, you know, with this, because this is obviously been burnt across the front top there, and it's a bit in that bottom corner, you see, because I even thought at one point, could I cut that bit out, you know, and dip it and make it look like a 500 bumper just for a race car or something, but it's gone on that corner as well. So if anybody's got one, please get in touch and let me know. You know, we'll pay going rate good money for one. Same for front arch. It'll just.
But that's to be good condition, obviously. Not.
Yeah. We don't want one that's been repaired or anything like that. Really, a good, nice, straight, original one. We're not bothered if the brackets are damaged at the back corners. You know, because these snap off. Because even that one will go again. We could undrivet that and put that on a. So we're not bothered about the side mountings or the metal frame bar. If it hasn't got that, it's not a problem. As long as the outer skin is good and straight, that'll be brilliant. We're not bothered about the inserts or the fog lights or the indicators, because we've got
all that.
Just an outer skin would be perfect if anybody's got one.
Paul, the information's below the video. If you've got one, get in touch.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us down, Paul. Thanks for letting us.
No problem.
have a look at it.
I'll give you a shout when it's all in prime and you can have a look.
Alright. Cheers for watching, fellas. I'll leave a link to Paul's social media below. He's got 2 Facebook pages. One's RS 500 owners.
Yeah, and then the other one just Paul Linfoot Racing, which is more really to do with the race car side of things, but if you're interested you can have a look.
Alright. I'll also leave my Instagram below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.